Are you contemplating on changing your job and you're worried about what the visa process is like? I've got a few questions from people sometimes who ask me because I've made videos about changing jobs first, second, and I'm on my third job in the UK, and I have noticed that so many people are stuck in their current job. So many people are glued to a toxic job, toxic environment because of the fear of how to change a job. This video is not specifically for nurses alone. It is for anyone under the tier 2 work visa, health and care visa, work visa in general. So this video is going to be beneficial for you either now, in the future, to your friend. Don't get stuck in that job because of the fear of visa change. So who will need another visa, or who will need to update or reapply for another visa in the UK? You will need to apply for another skilled worker visa or another general tier 2 visa if you want to change your job and your new job is with a different employer. That means you're changing from one job to the other. Even if it is the same profession, like you're still going to be a nurse, you will need to update your visa. When you change a job to a different occupation code, that means you're on a particular job and you're changing to another job in general, you will need to update your visa. If you leave a job that is on the shortage occupation list, you find another job that is not on the list. That means, although nurses, I don't think we can do this. If you're on a job, you're already in the UK, maybe, I don't know, somehow you're already in the UK and you're on one particular visa, you want to switch your job to another kind of job, you will need to update your visa either under the skilled occupation visa or under a tier 2 general visa. You do not need to update your visa except your visa is about to expire or your job has been taken off the shortage or your skilled occupation list. Okay, so you can still remain on that same job. If your visa is like 3 years and you're still in that same job for 3 years, you don't need to update that visa as long as that 3 years is still on the visa. And I get so many questions about your partner, your children, your dependents in general, how their visa or how your visa change or your job change affects them. One thing you don't know is your job change or your visa change does not affect your dependent. As long as they have a valid visa, they can remain on that visa. They can decide to switch with you when you change, but it's just waste of money and waste of resources. Just leave them to remain on that visa until their visa is about to expire, and that is when you now use your new certificate of sponsorship to apply for another visa for them, so they can remain on the same visa for as long as their visa lasts. Even though it is with a different company, your job does not affect theirs. They can continue to do whatever job they're doing. Your children don't need to change anything. What is the cost required for changing a visa? It will depend on what type of visa you're applying for. You can pay from £625 to up to £1,423. Just depend on your circumstance and depend on what category of visa you're going for. You may need to pay for healthcare surcharge, although currently nurses and some occupation under the healthcare, you do not need to pay for immigration health surcharge when you're applying for your visa. But there are still people who are on tier 2 visa, and when they change their job, they would need to still pay for their immigration health surcharge, and that is per year, per person. You're going to be paying £624 per year. That is ridiculous, really. Let's say you're going to be applying for 3 years visa, you're changing your job to a 3 years visa, you're going to be applying, you're going to pay £624 times 3. So each year you pay £624. So it is a lot of money, although, like I said, so many healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, we've been exempted from the immigration health surcharge payment, and even some of us will beginning to get refund for the one we paid when we came during COVID, and also we're getting our money back. Personally, I've gotten some money back, okay? You pay a lower application fee if your job is under the shortage occupation list, okay? And sometimes you may even be exempted. Instances when you can get reduction in the money you need to pay is when you're applying to come to the UK from Argentina for 2 years on a skilled worker visa. If your job is not on the shortage occupation list, but you're on a tier 2 work visa and you're about to change your job, you want to apply, what is going to cost you is going to be £625 for your visa and £624 per year, depending on how many years you're going to have. It's immigration health surcharge. So who is able to switch their job and apply for another visa? You're going to be eligible as long as your new employer meets the sponsorship requirements. You're going to be able to get your certificate of sponsorship and you're going to be eligible to apply for another visa. You do not need to apply for another visa if, for instance, you're a nurse, you want to work as an agency nurse, you do not need to apply for another visa. You must apply to update your visa if you take on a second job that is either more than 20 hours, which I will recommend you not to do, in addition to the job that you got your first visa for. If, for instance, you already got your visa, you're already in the country and you want to work extra hours, if as long as you work within your 20 hours maximum, you don't need to apply for extra visa. But you will need additional visa if the job you're going for is more than 20 hours. They need to be able to say you're doing another job. But although during COVID, there's no limit, there's no rule to how many hours you can work, but generally it is 20 hours aside your general normal full-time job. But please stay tuned to the website and make sure you keep yourself updated in case the law changes and you do not know. Nobody's going to take responsibility for that because it's going to affect your visa or your indefinite leave to remain at the end of the day. If you're working more than the required 20 hours extra that you can work, except you've exempted yourself to opt out of the maximum hours, you have to have a document to back that up, and please just stay within the limit, except during COVID that, like I said, of course you can work as long as you want and you may not need additional visa, but otherwise you may need to apply for additional visa. And when you're applying for your visa, usually sometimes you may need, although I've personally never had to write any letter, but you may need to attach a letter explaining your name, your date of birth, your current certificate of sponsorship reference number, the date when your current permission to stay runs out, although there will be a form where you can fill all these in. How soon should you apply for your visa when you're trying to change your job? You can apply for a new visa for as early as 3 months before the start date in your next job. So if you're going to change job, let's say in April, you can apply even in January, and then you can get, yes, you can still get your decision and it will not affect your current visa. You can continue working on your current job while your new application is being considered, or to work out your notice period as long as you're applying before your current visa expires. So you need to apply for your new visa before your current visa expires, and you can continue to still work for them while they're deciding that other visa that will be out. Because I've got someone who asked me at what point should they apply for another visa if they're changing job. And I always say you want to be sure that the second job is sure. You want to have your certificate of sponsorship. Ask for a certificate of sponsorship first. Do your police clearance. Get those ones out of the way first. Make sure that the job is legit and you're going to get that job before you go and apply for another visa and then affect your current job. Like, I applied for my visa in my former job, got my visa before I decided to give them notice and before I left, because if you're on a visa in this country, your life, your everything is tied to that visa, and you cannot just misbehave and just do whatever you want. You must not travel outside the UK, the Isles of Man, England, Northern Ireland, anywhere you are on the UK soil. You shouldn't exit the country until your visa is granted, so that you're not going to be locked out of the country. You will also need to apply, like when I applied for my first visa change, I didn't have to go for my physical biometric. I just had an app on the phone that did my biometric, and I'm sure they just used my previous, because that was the picture on it. The first visa picture was what they used, but you will need my third job. I had to go for a physical biometric. You may need to go back to give your fingerprint, pay for appointments, and just do almost the same thing you did when you're getting your first visa. You need to have your ID check and everything, and that is it about how to apply for another visa in the country. And like I said, please don't allow the fear of visa application to hinder you from changing your job. It is not hard at all. It is something you've done before and you can do it again. It is not difficult, and no employer can stop you from moving a job as long as you've gotten another job and you've gotten another sponsor. Okay, I hope this video has been of help to you. If it has, kindly deem it fit to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell and join this family, and I promise you will not regret. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Until then, stay safe, keep pushing, and I'll see you later. Bye.